today what we're going to be doing is we'll be out here on a lake that it's a pretty good sized reservoir, but it's summer. I mean, it's hot. And usually in the summertime, you know, it can be really hard to catch some fish. But what's unique about this place is grass, and it's got a lot of it. If you find a lake with grass in it, that's one of those factors that allow you to catch fish throughout the summer. Get out of that grass. Uh-huh. There he comes. There we go. That's a good start to it. He's way over in that thick grass. When it comes to baits that you can use in grass, you're sort of limited because that grass gets around the bait, it gets hung on the bait. A swim jig like this one right here, got a very tapered head to it. You can see it's sort of a bullet design. It's called a snake eyes. It's a snake head swim jig. It's got a very soft weed guard to it, but yet it's got a stout hook in it, and it's designed to come through that cover great. This is a little guy right there. When you're fishing grass, the braid right here is the way to go, I promise you. It works the best. It cuts the grass. It gives you a lot of leverage to pull that fish out of that grass. Oh man, oh gosh. Get out of that grass, fish. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Took a mouthful of grass right there. Oh man. Now that fish was excited about that jig. All right, look where that jig is right there. That fish, I'm convinced. When I get to an area where I start seeing clumps of grass or openings in the grass, that's when a bait like this is just so effective, because I can keep moving, I can cover a lot of water, and it's gonna come through that grass. What's key is that bullet head shape. And as you can see, the line tie is straight out of the front of the bait, and that allows it to come through the grass very clean and very quickly. If you're trying to do this with other baits, you know, you're gonna end up, as soon as it gets some grass on it, reeling it back in, pulling the grass off, and then making another cast. This one right here is efficient and it's effective. Right? So I'm just gonna make a long cast with it. And as soon as it hits the water, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start retrieving that bait. And I'm just winding. As you can see, I'm using a high-speed reel, and I'm keeping that bait coming to me. But now when I hit some grass, I feel something on there, what I'll do is I'll just pop that loose just by dropping the rod tip a little bit and then just popping that kind of quick. And what that does is, as you can see, there's no grass on there. The grass that was on there, when you pop it like that, it'll break that grass free from the jig. What we got here? Oh my gosh. Dang it. That one was unusual. It got bigger as it got closer. They usually do the other way around. They get smaller when they get closer. Now the trailer that I'm using on this today this is made by Z-Man. It's called a Turbo Crawl. And what's cool about it is these two tails back here. Those give it that action. So the jig is just coming through the water, but those tails right there is really what's giving it that wiggle, that attraction that's gonna cause that fish to strike. So it's really sort of a system there, because it comes through the grass, has a lot of action, and I can cover a lot of water with it. So that's what makes the swim jig just so effective. Get out. Oh yeah. Nice. Come here, you. There's another one with it. Awesome. I tell you, that swim jig to me is just, it's fun because you get to see so much that's going on. Swim jig, got you a bass right there. Awesome. Now the line I'm using right here, this is 50-pound braid. Now what's great about braid is it's got zero stretch. And what that does for you, two things. One is it will cut the grass. So when that fish dives down into that grass, you pull on it hard and it basically just cuts itself free from that grass. That zero stretch does a great job too on getting that hook into the fish on a long cast. So the braid is really key on this. What also is important here is I'm using a 7.5 foot, so I'm using a long rod that is a medium heavy rod. Typically I'll use even a heavier action than this one, but since I'm using braid, that'll really make up for if the rod's got if it doesn't have a lot of backbone, that braid, it compensates for that. The reel is also important. This right here is an 8.5-to-1 high-speed reel. This is a Shimano Curado K. I love this reel because it does two things really well. One is it holds a lot of line, so when I'm using this bigger line like this, I'm not throwing it to the knot. It has a big spool capacity. Also, that high speed, can't stress it enough. It works so well, especially with this bait right here. You're making a long cast, and as soon as it hits the water, engage the reel and start cranking it. Really, it's all of a system here together. We got the jig trailer, the jig, the line, the rod, and the reel. That whole combination does a great job in catching fish around a lot of grass. So as you can see here, we got a really flat point, and because that grass is going to grow out there to 8-10 foot of depth, you can kind of tell where the depth lines are. So some of the banks you see there's hardly any grass. This one here is a big flat bank. And so this is a perfect situation for my swim jig because there's a lot of grass and it just tapers out very slowly. So it gives you that water column that you can fish that jig across the tops of that grass and right in it. Here on the edge where it's sort of broken, that's the stuff I'm looking for. Like we said before, I like to find those areas where there's a difference in the grass, whether it's the grass is broke up, whether there's holes in the grass, and then you just reel that swim jig over there and a fish bites it. I just love it when a plan comes together like that. I tell you, that swim jig does such a good job of catching fish in grass situations. Just, if you got grass in your lake, or you know a lake that's got some grass in it, take a swim jig there. There we go. You could see, you know what's cool about that fish right there is I could see him react to that lure. Like I was reeling that jig right across the top of the grass, and I seen the fish sort of wake behind it. You see that fish pushing the water behind it, coming after that jig. All I did then was just sort of change the action a little bit, speed it up some, and that fish went ahead and grabbed it. Constantly. Golly. There's a fish. I mean, he's way back in that grass. Mm-hmm. There you go. There you go. There we go, right there. Well, you can see that's a good fish right there. And that braid is really what was key. You know, that fish was buried up over in that grass, and he's doing everything he can to get away from that jig. But that braid allows you to get a fish like that out of that heavy grass, because without it, best case scenario, you go over there and maybe dig him out, but you're not going to be able to pull him out of there. But braid allows you to do that. That's awesome. So what I'm looking for right in here is really some differences to the grass, because you can kind of see that area there. It's all topped out. The grass is up to the surface, and in behind it here we got some broken areas to it. So differences are almost always a key spot, no matter what type of cover you're fishing. So with this swim jig right now, I'm moving around. I'm looking for those different looking areas of that grass, and that's what I'm looking for visually. But I'm all the time casting and retrieving. I don't wait to throw at those places, because you're liable to catch a fish through any of this grass, but generally those areas where there's some openings in it are always going to be key. You know, now you can see, looking at this right here, there's a clump of grass, another clump, and another one, This is a big flat, goes all the way to that topped out grass over there, but it's kind of broken up. And this is a perfect situation. It's like we were talking about before. Look for those areas where the grass has got some differences, and this is key right here. It looks so good. I'm just really fan casting. I'm covering all that water out through there because it's really almost all the same depth through there. That's really not what they're keying on. What they're keying on is all that grass that's in there. If this flat had no grass on it, it would not be holding the amount of fish that it'll hold. That grass right there is what keeps the fish in this area. Okay, I think I can catch one right there. He's running so fast I can't tell how big he is. He was just coming at me the whole time. You see how fast that fish. Oh, gosh. Now that, right there in the corner of the mouth, you can see that old swim jig today, and that grass and this hot weather is really paying off. And you can see, look at the color of that fish. What a great color on him. There's the grass, there's the jig, and then there's the bass. So anytime you're fishing in the summertime, looking for a good way to beat the dog days, find some grass beds on a lake, wherever it might be, and try that swim jig because it will pay off.